Toucan, we got a school project to do.
Okay, what we got?
We gotta make an anti-war song from the 60s.
Song from the 60s? Just like old times, huh? So what is it on, Vietnam?
Yeah, and I know exactly what song to do it on.
No, we're not doing Fortunate Son. Everyone's gonna do that song. You know how many times you watch something about Vietnam and they play that song?
Okay then, how about Give Me Shelter?
No, that song's not even about Vietnam. It's just about some time Keith Richards got stuck in a thunderstorm.
Keith Richards got stuck in a storm, so he wrote a song about murder, children, rape, and murder?
No, come on. Do something they won't see coming.
I got it. I'll do the quirky World War I song.
Quirky World War I song? For Vietnam?
Hello everyone, I am Toucan, and my partner you may know is Joseph. Today we're going to take a look at a little song from 1968 by the British group The Zombies, over there. This song was taken from their second LP, Oddessy and Oracle. Now this album is very special. It was recorded in Abbey Road Studios immediately after the Beatles had just recorded Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And the Zombies, they recorded this album basically on like a no budget. So the band took all the money they had into this thing. They paid it themselves. They didn't have like no record companies give them any deals or anything like that. And so because of that, they had to spend as little time in the studio as possible. And they just rehearsed these songs over and over. And it shows, because this album, it doesn't sound like it was paid by us. It sounds like a top dollar album for the time. And surprisingly, it didn't do too good when it came out. But this is a phenomenal record that kind of blends like blends like psychedelia and like pop, and it's awesome. But there's one song that we're gonna take a look at from this thing. It's called Butcher's Tale, Western Front, 1914.
So this album was recorded in 1968, right at the height of the Vietnam War.
A war that a lot of Americans were fed up with. So the Zombies took inspiration from this disheartening to write their quirky World War I song, as a teacher liked to put it.
But aren't the zombies like British, like bottles of water, and didn't the Vietnam War like happen in America?
Sure. But it wasn't like Americans were the only ones that didn't like the war. Well, for one thing, a lot of Australians were also sent to the war. And with the advent of TV, news of a war could spread across the Western world like that. And people could now see the horrors of war visually just right from their homes. It's one thing to read in a newspaper something like the rape of Belgium, but to actually see people fighting and dying is totally different. So yes, the Zombies were British, but they would have absolutely been able to make a comment on the war. So Butcher's Tale, written by Chris White, takes the perspective of the war from someone fighting in World War I. The song musically is pretty simple. The main instrument is just an accordion, but there's like sound effects throughout of like wind and like a kind of slide whistle. The star of the song is Chris White, who's the writer and singer and also the bass player for the band. It said that he was chosen to sing the song because because of the trembliness in his voice. The song makes you feel like, you listen to it, it makes you feel like terrified, confused, and shooken. And the song White speaks of a man whose job is a butcher, but now he works for the king as a soldier. So the title is not really like a metaphor. It's like he's literally a butcher. And there's language in the song describing the corpse of his friend lying on wire with flies surrounding him. And the way that White says the word flies is just so disgusting. The song is just meant to remind you the things that these men overseas were going through. I mean, we're talking about a war in a jungle filled with dangerous insects, and they had to go through narrow tunnels, and then they would get scorpions dumped on them, and they have to fight an enemy that was invisible, and they would make you go in circles just to get shot. I mean, men were killed, they were amputated, and they saw their friends die. And this song Butcher's Tale was meant to encapsulate the slaughter that they see. And the song mentions a preacher who preaches that the fighting must continue and is good, But if he only saw what was happening, he wouldn't be preaching for it. Which just goes to show how oblivious the politicians are, whether by ignorance or by willingness. They are to just send men to be tortured. But the songs last truck. But the song's lasting impact is in its infamous chorus.
And some genius down at the record company thought that this song would be good as a single, as in like a song you would hear like on the radio, because they thought like, hey, like it's anti-war and Vietnam, and the boomers will love it, But yeah, needless to say, it wasn't a hit. And even nowadays, it's not really considered on the same league of Vietnam songs as like "Give Me Shelter" or that other song. But it's a song that I discovered from listening to this album, Oddessy and Oracle, and I think it's a really good song. All right, guys, I'm gonna lay it to you straight. The only reason Joseph likes this song is because it's the song that plays in his head when he tries to talk to people. What? No, I talk to people.
Yeah, your mom.
You live with me. I could kick you out of the house.
Sorry, Your Majesty.
So anyway, that's all the time we have right now. So remember to check out this album, Oddessy and Oracle. Eat your vegetables. Jesus loves you. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? Oh yeah, we got our YouTube channel.
No, don't mention the YouTube channel.
Yeah, we upload videos every Tuesday.
Yeah, sure.
We have like 3 subscribers. It's amazing.
Yeah, and 2 of them are people you know. Come on, don't make a plug. It's unprofessional.
And so far, this thing seems to be a Lego Seinfeld.
We don't know what it is. Don't watch this guy.
Okay.
It's garbage.
See ya.
Okay?